indeed my pleasure to get to us right here on ET Now, the Minister for IT and Telecom, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad. Thank you very much for speaking to us,
Thank you, Supriya.
sir. 2 years in your government, if I may first ask you to step back and analyze and assess those 2 years. When you came in, telecom was a very fractious industry. There were many issues that were making headline news items. You decided to fight for the cause of the consumer. I have more questions that in just a bit. But how do you assess these 2 years? Which do you think are your big achievements, and where do you think you could have covered more ground?
It is entirely for you to assess my achievement. But let me be modest about it. We are talking in Sanchar Bhavan. This was in the news for all the wrong reasons.
That's right.
Today, the entry of middlemen in this building is banned. Decisions are being taken fairly, honestly. All the policy initiatives pending for the last 8 to 10 years, spectrum sharing, spectrum trading, infrastructure sharing, liberalization, harmonization, all are in place. My telecom sector has received the highest FDI ever in the history, 27,000 crores in the last 2 years. I'm saying in Indian rupees, okay? It changes to about $4 billion, billion plus dollars. The mobile phone, the total phone was down 1.8 crore when I came to power. Now they're up by 11.88 crores. Our government has added 12 crore plus mobile phone in the last 2 years. Investment is there. I gave 4G license to all the 4 players within a span of 1.5 months for a fair competition. Therefore, I am quite happy about it. And one thing I wish to tell your viewers, BSNL had become almost a dead horse when I came to power.
That's true.
The simple logic, I would like to show a particular graphic, Supriya, for the sake of your viewers. When we had come to power, BSNL was in a loss of 8,000 crores. When Bajpayee government left office in 2004, 10,000 crore profit. When Manmohan Singh government left office, 8,000 crore loss. Within 1 year, 8 months, it came into operating profit of 672 crores. It is adding 23 lakh mobile customers every month, the highest in February in comparison to all others. Landline is free. And don't forget, it is also doing its public obligations in case of floods in Tamil Nadu, in Kashmir, giving free facility. In case of earthquake in Nepal, international call being made domestic. So with public obligations, there were telephony, I must tell you, I have been able to set out. Today, yes, the whole issue of radiation menace. I have personally played a proactive role in allaying these apprehensions all over the country. There is no medical evidence. WHO has spoken very frankly about it. There is no medical evidence. Therefore, I have done my duty already in studying growth in telecom sector.
It's a very important point that you make, that you have done your duty to kickstart growth, to keep the growth momentum on. 2 years in your job, let me ask you a frank question. Has the industry let you down?
Well, I will not say that. They have done something, they need to do more. What is the image of India today, Supriya? 100 crore plus mobile phone, 100 crore plus Aadhaar, 40 crore plus internet, out of it 60% is mobile. Another, our Prime Minister says, I would like to have mobile governance in the palm of every Indian through smartphone.
That's right, yes.
India today is home to 27 crore smartphones. In coming 2 to 3 years, it will be 50 crores, 500 million.
That's right.
What is my take with the
industry
network operators? You have done a great job in bringing mobile phone in the nook and corner of the country. I would also like your services to be one of quality. And what I say, I am the Minister for Telecom Growth, I am also the Minister for Consumer Interest.
Have they let you down there on that front?
In fairness to them, because of my monitoring and a little strict action also, they have installed about 90,000 plus sites in the country, 5,000 in Delhi. They need to do more. Why I say so, Supriya, that we call off Jam Trinity, Jandhan, Aadhaar, Mobile. Mobile is M of Jam.
That's right.
And that mobile has to be flawless.
As the telecom minister, it's a very tough rope to walk on, to manage consumer interests and to also manage the interests of the industry. Has it been an easy job to do?
No, it is a tough job. Therefore, I persuade, I cajole, I request, I strictly monitor. And I know the network operators can do it. If they can bring telephony from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, they can also do it. They need to do it. They identify the gaps, reinforce it, and where it requires new investment, make it. Because a good quality service is also in their interest.
That's right.
Because mobile is going to become an important component of digital India. And let me tell you, Supriya, for the sake of viewers, as I see, digital India is going to be a $1 trillion economy.
That's right.
400 billion electronic manufacturing, 350 billion IT and IT services, and 250 communication services. It is a good business case for them as well to give a good service.
Your colleague, Mr. Arun Jaitley, said to me in an interview about 3-4 days back that he is a little worried about the latest trend that we are seeing of judicial overreach. You could say that in UPA because there was a policy paralysis. Nothing explains in this government because your worst critics will say you're taking decisions. You were really pushing the cause of the consumer as far as call drops is concerned. The latest Supreme Court order, do you believe in some sense also smacks of judicial overreach there?
Well,
and judicial activism, if I may.
It's a regulation of TRAI. Okay? TRAI contested it, they challenged it. I should not make any comment upon the judgment because the judgment of Supreme Court has come about.
Right.
But I can only say we are working our job honestly. And everyone, including the judiciary, need to understand that if India is becoming a global hub of mobile telephony, the consumers also expect that to be a good service.
That's right.
And that should be a collective obligation.
How are you looking to address that issue? Are you looking to changing or amending the TRAI Act? I mean, will you let telcos go scot-free?
No, there is no question of getting scot-free. I should be very clear to you. Under the law, the tariff issue, the penalty part, quality control is the domain of the TRAI.
Right.
I should not encroach upon that. If there is a case TRAI feels we need to reinforce the legal lacuna, we are open to considering it. I will be very frank. The TRAI will have to make an initiative in that regard. But I will go on a larger issue. When I speak in the parliament, when I am speaking to you, I have to defend the telecom sector. I am also required to articulate the concerns of the consumers.
That's right.
Because I am also accountable for them. It is only from that point of view I am speaking, and I will take this opportunity of your channel and your interaction with me to again tell the operators it is in your interest to give a good service. The people of the country want that, and you can rise to the occasion. You have got the potential. And my last take, I have done my duty. No policy initiative is pending with me.
After that order, one is seeing a renewed focus from telecom operators on self-regulation. Is that something that impresses you?
Well, it is
that going to work?
It is entirely for them to come with self-regulation. That is not my domain. My domain is simple. The real benchmark should be consumer satisfaction. Flawless delivery. They must tell that it has improved. Let me tell you, my department is proactive in facilitating the operators for installation of sites and towers. I talked about the misgivings on radiation. New sites, government building, post offices. I went to chief ministers also to help them locate, because sites and towers are important for growth of wireless communication.
I must ask you a question, and you alluded to this, that if a legal action is required by the TRAI and it's initiated, you will be open to it. Are you open at this stage to make a legislative change to ensure the consumer's interest is protected? Because the Supreme Court in its order also said that Parliament can make a law on compensation.
I'm not closing the option. If after a structured consideration, TRAI feels that certain requirements are required to be reinforced, they are quite open for that.
You know, telecom operators have cited many reasons for poor quality of service. They say spectrum crunch is there are not enough cell sites. I know they have made some progress after your very stringent monitoring. Do you believe at one level some of this argument is valid, or are you someone who believes they're shying away from making the investments that is required to be made for good service?
Now, there should not be any alibi. In the last auction, a very good quantity was there for auction, one of the highest of 1,10,000 crore. In the present auction, in few months' time, we are going to do about 2,000 megahertz, one of the highest ever spectrum. Spectrum sharing, spectrum trading has been allowed. Many operators are doing that also, you know it very well. Therefore, spectrum scarcity is no more a relevant ground. Radiation issue I have explained, other policy I have done. Today I have been able to disabuse this misgivings about radiation also. The government has been very proactive.
Telcos say they have made massive investments in excess of thousands of crores of rupees. Does that argument not cut ice with you?
My reply is very simple. Every time the quarterly results came, I see their account books are flush with profit. And I see, I'm happy about that, that 4,000, 3,000 crores rupees are being paid in case of spectrum sharing and trading. I'm quite happy about it. The sheer size of India's market. Supriya, in the last 2 years, we have added mobile phone equal to the population of France and Italy.
So are you saying the sheer size of the market entails more investment?
A, and B, the emerging ecosystem of digital India is going to accelerate growth further. E-commerce, let me tell you, it is rising at the rate of 6-7% plus. And what is e-commerce? All mobile based mostly. Therefore, Indians today are digitally very involved. And that digital involvement, digital passion, if I talk about it. Let me say one thing. I am also the Minister of Electronics. I am pushing electronic manufacturing in a very big way, you know that. And our government had come only 11,000 crore investment. Now it is 1,20,000 crore. And Supriya will be happy to know, last year we manufactured 11 crore mobile phones in India. So the best companies in the world are in India. 83% growth rate. All this is a happening place. Therefore, a good service is also for you to be a relevant player in the game.
Fair point indeed, sir. But while these arguments were going on in the Supreme Court, if I may just take a detour and talk to you about what the AG said. He made a very stunning statement of a likely informal cartel in telecom. I'm not going to ask you whether that cartel exists or not. That's a judgment call, and I think all of us know. But why do you believe, why does the government feel such a cartel exists?
Well, the AG, Attorney General, was appearing for the TRAI. Okay. And whatever went inside the court, I don't think I need to comment.
But do you believe a cartel like this exists as the telecom minister? No, and why do you think it exists?
No, I would not like to make any comment except to say one thing. If there is a cartel, that cartel should come together to reinforce the telephony, to make the services good. I'll be happiest about that.
Does policy making become difficult because of a cartel like that?
No, 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 no. I am very clear. Here, as I said, I am very proud to be a member of the Narendra Modi government, where corruption has become completely alien.
Because you're also somebody who is going to oversee India's shift from 2G, 3G to really 4G, the big data player, and you've spoken about Digital India at length. Do you feel the entry of a dominant player like RailJio is going to change the dynamics of this game?
No, I would say I will always promote fair competition. As I said, I gave 4G license within a space of 1.5 months to all the 4 players, from Jio to Airtel to Voda to Idea, and if anyone wants more, I am quite willing for that. Therefore, I am very determined to promote fair competition and let a good service dominate the market.
So the next big event in your sector will of course be the next round of spectrum auction. One wants to know, when is this going to happen and how much money are you looking to raise from this spectrum auction? You've already said it's going to be the largest ever spectrum that will be sold, but are they back upon a lot of calculations that you've already done?
Well, I can only say that we went to TRAI, the TRAI gave a recommendation, we sought a reconsideration, that is the legal mechanism, and let me tell you, whenever there is auction, a lot of issues are raised. And ultimately, good money comes about. That's the size of Indian market. The last auction we did for 1,10,000 crore, the highest ever.
That's right.
I am quite hopeful this time also we'll have a good auction. What is my guarantee to the telecom operators? It will be a fair auction, transparent auction.
Do you believe it's going to garner the interest it has in the past? Because many operators, and you're right in saying that these issues get raised every time and still money gets collected. They believe 700 megahertz is something they may not need, and they don't want to participate because the reserve price is very high. Is there a case for revisiting that reserve price?
TRAI has twice recommended it. I'll go to the cabinet. One thing I must tell you, it will be a fair, transparent auction, fairest possible. It is entirely for them to participate or not to participate. I cannot be judgmental. I only hope it will do. And one thing which I always lightly say, Supriya, that I will become the most popular telecom minister if I wish to give a spectrum for a free, which I don't propose to.
Because you have revenue maximization and government's coffers to fill in as well. The other one big green in your report card, and I think a lot of global operators and global regulators are looking at you and lauding you for, is the very firm stand that you, the regulator, has taken on net neutrality. You know, it was unprecedented of sorts. You took that stand. But the lacuna that remains there is the closed user group. Do you believe that issue needs to be addressed? Because that could potentially, undermine the purpose of what net neutrality is, the purpose of what you stand for.
On net neutrality, the differential pricing chapter is over. You know it very well. We have taken a very firm stand there. And let me tell you, I have also made a very clear view that India is too big a country and too huge a country to be persuaded by any kind of ad campaign.
That's right.
We will take decisions on merits. I have made 2 points inside the parliament. We are proud of internet invention, one of the finest invention of human mind. It should be used for human talent only. It should not be abused by few.
That's right.
For terrorism or extremism.
Right.
And second, I would wish to ensure non-discriminatory access. Because if internet is a global phenomena, it must have linkage with the local.
That's right.
And internet is empowering people. These are my broad concerns.
And your stance has proved what you were saying. You walked the talk, so to say, on the stance.
Absolutely.
But what about the closed user group? That
No,
issue.
as far as the TRAI is concerned,
Right.
TRAI is considering my larger request for net neutrality concerning issues.
Yes.
They are consulting. Let the report comes. I will take a call. They are also considering the issue of closed group also.
Right.
When the TRAI, the body is consulting it, making the consultations, let the report comes, I'll take a call.
You know, you rightly said you're also the Minister for Electronics, and that's where the big bucks, the big dollars come pouring in. We've seen Foxconn make a commitment, so obviously that's another big green on your report card. I want to specifically ask you a question on Apple. India is turning in an Apple user, and which is why Tim Cook is making the policy rounds that he is. But I must ask you a very specific question. Policy makers seem to be a divided lot on whether you should allow Apple to refurbish and make these second-hand phones in India. As the Telecom Minister, I know you want to see growth of the market, but where do you stand on this debate?
I have a little reservations that India should not become a dump of second-hand products. That's my take.
Do you fear that could happen if there is refurbishment in second-hand manufacturing?
I would not like to make any comment, but one thing I must clarify factually, that Mr. Wu of the Foxconn, when he had come to meet me, he was very hopeful of making new manufacturing processes here, exploring the possibility, and he never mentioned to me any issue about the second-hand issue. That's my...
And that is where you draw confidence from that
obviously,
this is going to be a first time.
And all of them are very hopeful that India's market is fascinating market.
I'll tell you I have one last question on telecom because you are a political animal and I must get some political questions out of you. One last question. The perception is that New Delhi is willing to accommodate Apple in many more ways than you have accommodated other players. Whether it's to do away with 30% local sourcing norms. Are you sending out a signal that you're willing to go and accommodate a big player, but may not do so at a larger level for...
No, I must tell you, we have been very open for FDI. As I said, FDI in telecom has been phenomenal. Even the manufacturing is phenomenal. We are quite open for investment for bigger sources. But all these shall go with prescribed norms.
I will shift focus to politics, and if the last week's electoral mandate is anything to go by, then you have a lot of reason to celebrate. But I must ask you a contra question. You've driven the Congress out of Assam, its stronghold. You've opened accounts in places like, you've been a spoiler in Kerala of sorts. You've opened accounts in other states that went to elections. My larger question though is that while you are congratulating yourself, and it's great news for the BJP because there's almost a decimation of the Congress party at a political level, are we reading too much into the mandate? Kerala alternates between one party and the other. Assam, they were in rule for 15 long years, anti-incumbency has set in. Are we lauding too much? Do we run the risk of being a little, and by we I mean does the party run the risk of being a little more complacent on this verdict?
We are not complacent, but don't deny us the right to be happy.
You should be happy. They have every reason to be happy.
Why I am saying, Supriya, we were conventionally weak in these areas.
That's right, yes.
We were called cowbelled party.
You think
now,
that perception has changed?
We have come to power in Karnataka. We are in power in Andhra with TDP. Telangana, we are rising. The opening of good account of 15% along with India in Kerala is a great pointer towards the future. For the last 60 years, LDF, UDF, LDF. Assam, nearly 3/4 majority, nearly, is not a small statement. And why it has happened? Two, BJP is being perceived as a pan-India party. Good governance record of Narendra Modi being delivery. Since you are asking me a political question, I have taken a punchline.
Sure.
काम करने वाले करते रहेंगे, रोने वाले रोते रहेंगे. Okay? We are working. We are delivering. You are seeing that. Therefore, in that way, people are looking towards the BJP with hope. And what is more important on a political issue? Being an activist from my student life, I have traveled in these areas enormously.
True. Yes.
Earlier, there was no countenance for us.
Now there is.
Now there is. People are coming to us. And let me tell you, very soon, Kerala will open gates for BJP in a very, very big manner.
And I know you're a political activist and somebody who understands politics very well. From a national politics point of view, is that a bad trend? The fact that BJP is truly emerged as a national party, you no more a cowbelt here, but there is no real national opposition anymore. The Congress perhaps looking at decimation across the country. Is that a worrying trend for you as far as Indian polity is concerned? It's great news for you as
what should I do? Let Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi examine it. Ad hocism, casual approach in politics from suit boot to fair and lovely, people don't appreciate. You become a serious player. Politics is a serious game. And the biggest result of this election is politics of entitlement is being given a burial. Work hard.
And dynastic politics is not working anymore.
Obviously, work hard for the party. So therefore, I see it as a positive trend. As regards the emergence of regional parties, we quite welcome that. But yes, some people need to put a full stop to their prime ministerial ambition. There is no vacancy for the present, and there is going to be no vacancy for long years to come. Obviously, I am referring to Nitish Kumar. Let him govern Bihar well. Okay, that will be better.
I must ask you this question though. Do you believe this state mandate is going to, in some sense, fuel an anti-Modi bloc? Of course, they may not be Congress as the anchor of that bloc, but somebody like a Nitish or a Mamata or any other regional person could be.
Well, always remember, it is not a new initiative. To become a pan-India conglomerate, there has to be a glue around which the other parties do come.
You think Nitish Kumar can be that glue?
No, just a minute.
Yes.
There was a VP Singh initiative, Chandrasekhar, Devegowda, Gujral, Manmohan Singh, others. Supriya, will Mulayam and Mayawati come together? Will Mamta and CPM come together? Will DMK and AIDM come together? What are we talking about? Therefore, I don't grudge their luxury of seeking prime ministerial ambitions. That's their right. Except to say there is no vacancy for a long time to come.
I must though ask you this question. While you have every reason to be happy, while you have every reason to laud the last 1 year politically, personally, do you believe Bihar has been a setback? You are a very strong, very, very tall leader from there. The fact that the BJP did not do well in Bihar, and there are many factors to this, index of opposition unity and all of that. But has it been a personal setback?
Why not? Obviously. Supriya, winning and losing is a part of democracy. But I feel sorry for my state. Today, governance is becoming a casualty. Overpowering fear is coming. And what I am very sorry to say, as a minister of the government, I am so desperate to do so many things for my own state. Electronic manufacturing must come there. I need a cluster. Land is not being given. STPI must be open. Land is not being given. They need to understand people need investment, they need jobs. And my added agony is the same problem I faced when I was minister in the Bajpayee government. And the same I am facing when I am here in the Modi government. But I will continue to persuade, to cajole. My young people of Bihar are very promising. They need good governance.
My last question before I let you go, sir. You've been a parliamentarian for decades now. You've seen how parliament functions. We've seen how parliament functions. You would fight in parliament and come outside and still have a coffee with the Congress MPs. One doesn't see that anymore. There is this very personal, very, very acrimonious relationship of sorts. It's almost as if it's not political opposition, but it's personal opposition. At one level, does that disturb someone who's been in public life for decades now?
It does.
And who do you blame for this? Only the opposition?
And this was trained to me by Mr. Bajpayee. My great regards for that leader. I knew him from my childhood days.
Right.
Ravi, be a ferocious like a lion when you are debating in the parliament. Once the parliament is over, be friends. Therefore, we don't become political enemies. We are political opponents. You know, it has to be both ways. I'm sorry to say.
Are you going to only blame the opposition for this?
No, I will say everyone has to reflect. But today, I would urge the Congress party to reflect that now they are not ruling.
There is a reason why I asked you that question. While I know that you believe in the theory that you just told me, that you should ferociously fight the opposition in parliament, but outside you should be friends. What have people like Subramanian Swamy done to your equations with the Congress party? It's a very personalized attack. It's almost vitriolic at one level. Has that made your job tougher to see eye to eye with opponents?
I don't wish to make any comment, but let me tell you, in fairness to him, words apart, if he went for 2G, he got success. In case of National Herald also, the court has found the matter fit for trial. The Delhi High Court refused to interfere. Therefore, if someone is taking corruption issue very fearlessly, I think he also needs to be appreciated.
He should take corruption ferociously. I know I'm overshooting my time with you, but do you believe he should have made the comments against the RBI governor? It's an institution of that nature.
I will not.
Manages monetary
I will not
policy.
like to make any comment. I understand the FM has already made some comment. Institutional respect ought to be there. In conclusion, I would like to say just one thing.
Right.
Since you talked of financial inclusion also, in my postal department, I have done extraordinary changes in the last couple of years.
You have, yes.
From e-commerce to speed post to parcel revenue has risen by 82%.
And it was almost looking at extinction before you
yes.
focused
And the
on it.
payment bank which we are coming.
Yes.
Let your viewers know, Supriya, that just in principal approval, I am going to the cabinet very shortly. And 50-60 world players, Indians too, from Deutsche Bank to Citibank to World Bank to Barclays, all are keen to partner with India Post for third-party service. That's something, if you come with honest attempt for inclusion, people do respond.
On that very optimistic note, sir, thank you very much for sparing time
Thank you,
today.
Supriya. Nice talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.